Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning. Today starts with a T. Happy trudging together Thursday. Welcome. Good to have you. Looks like we already got people here. Morning, Amber. Good to see you. Glad you are here. Why did you shave, Dion? Well, I shaved because I have a meeting at noon with Aurora Mental Health and figure I should probably try and look at least not as mean, not as scruffy. I keep my hair short for a couple of reasons. First of all, I have naturally curly hair. Okay? My hair's curly. And I hate fucking with it all day. So, number one's for ease, to make my life easier. The other reason is because it makes me look kind of mean. That's the other reason. People tend to listen to me more. Morning, Michelle. Good to see you. Michelle's buying a new laptop. Good job. I think I'm up to, well, let's see. I have two laptops and my computer, my home computer. All right. So that's what I got. Loving is what I got. I got this cup from Primary Purpose. Went there, spoke on May 3rd, and I only know that because the date's right on it. I want it. This is like the one thing I've ever wanted in my life. Yeah. That reminds me of a story. This is why I don't dress up for Halloween. I might do it this year though, because I actually love Halloween. I need to allow myself to enjoy Halloween this year. That's how I should say it. All right. The last time I dressed up as William Wallace for a costume contest. Right. If you don't know who William Wallace is, Braveheart. I had the makeup, even the chain link mail. And I was wearing, yes, I was wearing a kilt. Oh, it's a kilt. All right. I'm not going to tell you whether I was wearing anything under it. That was the number one question. And it was legitimate too. I went and got the right cut, the right fabric, because there's even a certain kind of fabric depending on the tribe and stuff. And it was authentic, man. And I looked badass. My hair was kind of long at the time. And so I put some, had the makeup. And I lost a costume contest as somebody that was dressed as a woman. And I lost all faith in people at that point. I'm like, I'm never dressing up again. Why bother? People don't give a shit. They're just going to vote for their friends. They're not going to vote for best costume. So once again, lost out to popularity. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. The thing is, it was a trip. It was a trip to Cabo. Right. I wouldn't have been even able to go. I couldn't have my passport at the time. If you're here, please say hello. Whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. People always ask me, because they're like, why don't you have your driver's license, Dion? DUI? DUI? Was it DUI? Was it DUI? So don't sit here and tell me that people don't know that you're drinking. Was it DUI? Was it DUI? No, it was not. I never got caught. There's only a couple of times when I drove really, really drunk. Otherwise, I was, I had this it was a misconception. I was like, I don't drive drunk. And a lot of times I did not. Okay. I remember when I moved to California, the liquor store was a block away. I didn't need a car. Right. But when I get up in the morning, I was still drunk, probably drunk enough to blow for a DUI. But to me, that felt normal. It felt that was normal to me. Yeah. See, there was never a chance for all the alcohol to get out of my system. There was never a chance for that. That's why an ounce an hour doesn't apply to alcoholics. Yeah, that's why. All right. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about with Aurora Mental Health because this is the third executive, the third manager that I've had to talk to in a year. And now I'm a little frustrated because I have to start all over again. What I want is action. I'm not asking them to hire me. I'm asking them for change. So if you have any thoughts, anything that you think, put it in chat of what I might bring up while I'm talking to them. We want change. I'm going to be focusing in on 12th step groups, celebrate recovery, smart recovery, wellbriety, dharma, these other ones that we talk about. That's what I'm going to probably focus on because they really need the peer help. That's what they need. They will not have any success and they have no peer coaches there right now. So they will have little to no success at the present moment. So I guess my main question to ask them is this. What are we trying to do? Are we just trying to keep them safe and get them to where they're not going to die on us and shove them out the door? Is that the detox we want? Or do we want a detox that is going to help people? Which one do we want? So, Michelle's, what do you usually share with them? Well, that clearly didn't work before. Right? I don't know. I don't really have anything I share with them. I just tell them what to do. I'm kind of bossy. This one's going to be probably more of a qualification. So you got to get to know these. Whoa. One of the people I know pretty well. I know Kathy very well. Not very well. And she's really cool. I like her a lot. I'm a big fan of Kathy's. But I don't know this other person yet. But her name is Amber, so at least we got a cool name to start with, right? All right. My favorite auntie and one of my best friends' name is Amber. So yes. This has been sitting here for 2 weeks. The cats have not touched it. We have progress, folks. We have progress. If you don't have a camera here, if you're not seeing video, I have a little thing hanging from my microphone. We're going to be in the big book, page 83. You're like, but Dion, I already read 83 today. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's do it again anyway. Because a lot of people read these pages daily. I have them memorized. I just do it. I did do this before. Oh, no, this isn't the right one. I'm thinking 87. Okay. All right. So we're talking step 9. And I've been hearing a couple people talking. I heard somebody in a meeting in the last few days. They were talking about how they were going to go to one of their children. Or X something or something, but it was somebody and the thing was they just need them to understand that they're an alcoholic and they have alcoholism. This is the wrong way to approach a 9th step. Okay. What they think of you is no longer your business. It's a tough one. Oh, there are people in my life, they want me to continue being an alcoholic. They will not see me any other way. My mother-in-law does not believe I'm sober. She believes that I'm still drinking. Okay. Now, I know her life a little bit, and she's had a series of men in her life that used and abused her, weren't very nice to her. She has a pretty meek husband now that she can boss around, But and these people tried to get sober and they failed and failed and failed. So from her perception, I could understand why she would think that way. I can understand why. Now I can let it go. It used to bother me. Oh, why she think of me that way? And you're not like that. Yeah, that need to defend yourself. It's 11:11, by the way. All right. So, yeah. So, all right. Now, I only said that because, it hurt. So, when it comes to making amends, they're to be honest and forthright. I don't need you to like me. I just need to know that I've done everything that I can to get your forgiveness within reason. I'm not going to bow. I'm not going to jump through hoops. I'm not going to do there are restrictions to these things. Now, I've never really run across anybody that somebody's, gave them outlandish things in order to accomplish, in order to earn their trust or their forgiveness. I've never really heard of that either. All right. So, generous and forthright. We're going to start at the bottom of page 82. The alcoholic is like a tornado roaring his way through the lives of others. Yes, that's exact. And it doesn't look like it to us. Everything seems normal, does it not? Oh, look, it's normal. Look. And you're gonna hear it in this paragraph. Hearts are broken, sweet relationships are dead, affections have been uprooted, selfish and inconsiderate habits have kept the home in turmoil. We feel a man is unthinking when he says sobriety is enough. Maybe for some people, sobriety is enough. I don't know. I wasn't one of those people. I needed more. Being sober was just a process, part of the process in what I needed in order to live a life, live a fruitful, happy life. I got tired of being that tornado. It's a little wearing, spinning around and around and around and around at 180 miles a fucking hour, ripping through lives. It gets wearing. Aside from all the destruction that I've left behind, okay? What does that mean? It means I owe my community. Yeah. You want to know what the key is? At least it is for me. Having as much sobriety time as you did drinking time. That'll start to even you out. Right? I had 20 years of drinking. I have 21 years of total sobriety. If I can add my drinking together, I can add my sobriety together. At the moment, I have a little over 9 years. All right. So we feel a man is unthinking when he says that sobriety is enough. He is like the farmer who came up out of the cellar, the cyclone cellar, to find his home ruined. To his wife, he remarked, "Don't see anything the matter here, Ma. Ain't it grand the wind stopped blowing?" See, his whole life's a wreck. But he don't care. He's just glad that the wind stopped blowing. Why? Because now he can go back to drinking. All right. So Reconstruction, what does it mean? Reconstruction. Well, what's the first thing that needs to happen? Let's say we have an old building. This is what's going on in the recovery community in Colorado right now. It is reconstruction. That's the stage we are in. In other words, we came along and we tore it all down. And all of it needs to be torn down. Not all of it has been torn down yet. All of it. Not one nail needs to stay. Not one board. Not one piece of cement. No, these are bad things and they need to be getting rid of. So we're going to clear we're going to clear the field. We're going to level the ground. So the first thing you're going to do, right? Well, you already did it. You're a tornado roaring through people's lives. You already destroyed everything. Now it's time to clean up. We got to pick up all those pieces that are on the ground. We need to throw them away. We're going to put them in a big dumpster. We're going to let God carry that dumpster off, right? And then we're going to start on steps 1, 2, and 3 and start to reconstruct our home. And we're going to start with a foundation, right? We're going to start with a foundation. That is reconstruction. In order to build a new building, you must remove the old one first. That is what's going on in the recovery community right now. And people are feeling it too. See, there was a lot of abuse. There's still a lot of abuse. And these are the things that need to be gotten rid of so that we can get back to what we do best. Right? And that's part of what I'm going to have to repeat myself. That's why I'm a little upset, Michelle, and I do appreciate that. See, I'm upset because now I have to repeat everything again. And they're going to think that I'm fighting. But if we do not bring these things up, I'm sure Kathy gave her a heads up. Dion is, opinionated. That's why Monty loves me on his show. He's like, Roger, do you know why I asked you to be on the show? He's like, why? Because he's overly opinionated, which is great for radio. right? But I'm open-minded enough to where, see, so in radio, sometimes what you do in those conversations, sometimes I will just take the other side just because that's what needs to be done in that. That's radio for you. Doesn't mean that it's my opinion, but I might take the other side, right? Even though Monty and I agree on something, I might take the other side just so we can see what it looks like, right? All right. Yes, there's a long period of reconstruction ahead. We must take the lead. A remorseful mumbling that we are sorry won't fill the bill at all. I'm sorry. Yeah. Can I go now? No. You ever you see it all the time. Say sorry to him. Sorry. With some feeling. You gotta mean it. Well, they don't mean it. So you're not gonna get the right sorry. You know what sorry from an alcoholic means? I plan on doing that again. That's what sorry from an alcoholic means. Yeah. Um absolutely, Amber. Are you talking about the Monty man? You talk about take 12, I'm presuming. Yes, absolutely. I can send you the link. We ought to sit down with the family and frankly analyze the past as we now see it, being very careful not to criticize them. Their defects may be glaring, but the chances are that our own actions are partly responsible. So we clean house with the family, asking each morning in meditation that our Creator show us the way of patience, tolerance, kindliness, and love. Yes, Michelle, that's exactly what it is a debate. Yes, it is a debate. You're a good debater. I'm sorry, that just reminds me of something. And thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. No, I just heard debater. My my last name was Bates. The law growing up, it was Bates. So Dion Bates. What'd you pee on, Dion Master Bates? So whenever I hear debater, my mind goes when the toy came out with Richard Pryor. Oh my God, I did not hear the end of it. Right? So it's called The Toy. And this rich kid wants a toy, and it turns out that Richard Pryor is the toy. And this kid's last name is Bates, but he has to call him Master. So he calls him Master Bates, and then there we are. I have an uncle named Norman Bates. He was born before Psycho came out. Okay. He's not blood related. Step uncle, right? All right. So, all right. So the defects in everybody else are going to kind of become glaring. Your intentions changed, right? So there was this one Simpsons where Marge decided that she wanted to become a police officer. This was years ago. I haven't watched Simpsons in probably 10, 15 years. All right. But she decided to become a police officer. Well, since she became a cop, what she sees became different. And she saw how her husband committed crimes every time he turned around. Every time, but she didn't see it before because she wasn't a police officer. Now that you are in recovery and you are living a spiritual life and you are living an honest life, you are going to see the defects in others quite clearly. These are none of our business. I am to clean my side of the street only, unless I am asked to come over into somebody else's backyard to help clean. But in order for that to happen, my backyard must be cleaned first. I cannot transmit something I do not have. I can also not expect others to forgive me when I have not forgiven myself. The spiritual life is not a theory. No, we have to live it. Unless one's family expresses a desire to live upon spiritual principles, we think we not urge them. When I got sober, none, noonie of my kids wanted to live a spiritual life. Now they all do it. Now they all do it. I didn't ask them to. I didn't ask. I just became a better example. I knew if I went to my kids, I'd be like, oh, you got to go to this. Yeah. I made them go to Alateen for a little bit. But that was when they were under 18. I could still tell them what to do, right? And like me, they didn't like it in the beginning. In fact, they hated it. They hated it. Now they're using the skills. Oops. Right? Oh, we should not talk incessantly to them about spiritual matters. No, they don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to constantly hear you talk about AA and God. Nobody does. Even I have to change the topic every now and again. Right? Oh, our behavior will convince them more than our words. At this point, my words are kind of useless. It's all about action. Everything is about action. All right. We all know this. Your kids aren't going to listen to you, but they will do what you do. Yeah. In the beginning, they kind of listen to you, but what is the job of a child? The job of a child is to push their boundaries so they know where they're at. That is their actual job. Is to push their boundaries with their parents so they know where they stand in this world. It's a process. Absolutely, it is. We must remember that 10 or 20 years of drunkenness would make a skeptic out of anyone. All right. I was talking to my daughter yesterday, and the grandkids are going through the stage of, hey, our mom is sober. We want her back. We want her back. Right. Well, here's the problem. That mom's gone. That mom isn't around no more. She's a different person. Right. But sometimes the kids will demand that mother or father come back immediately. And that's just not possible. It's not possible. People don't change that quick. So we do the best that we can. They will learn over time. They will learn over time. I mean, my grandkids don't understand how lucky they got it. If there was one thing, even while she was drinking, there was one thing I said about my daughter. She's a great mother. She's a very good mother. She's really, really good. And I tell them all the time, like, you have no idea how lucky you are to have the mother that you have. She goes out of her way all the time just for you guys. Yeah, she sure does. Even when she's out there hustling, I get it, they want their mom, So, right? There are many wrongs we can never fully right. We don't worry about them if we can honestly say to ourselves that we would right them if we could. Now, earlier I talked about somebody saying they need other people to understand that they're an alcoholic. Well, what are we doing? Well, we're avoiding blame. We're avoiding something. And if we can get over that, then we can understand that it isn't really us. We're not the reason that they're not forgiving us. It is their own stuff, just like you went through it. Yeah. Yeah, then you'll be able to see it. Then you get to a point where it's like, okay, they don't believe, like we'll use my mother-in-law. If and when God gives me the chance, I am willing to make that amends. There it is. I am willing to do it. God will let me know if it needs to happen. It's in their ball court right now. Same with my oldest brother. He flat out said, I don't want to do a ninth step with you. I told him, you're not required to. Thank you for letting me know where you stand on it. Did it upset me a little bit? Sure it did. I wanted to get everything off my chest and feel better. Now, see how that's wrong? See how that's wrong? Right? So I wrote him a letter and I threw it in the trash. He didn't want it. It is not my job, except when to do so would injure them or others. You are an other. Did you know that? Did your sponsor explain to you that you're an other? And no, you do not need to go back to it. It's somebody that physically or emotionally abused you. But what you need to do is be willing. That's the key. Again, willingness is the key. All right. Discuss it with your sponsor. Your sponsor will help you find the right decision. All right. Because each one of those are kind of unique situations. So we need to cover each one and its ramifications, right? So some people cannot be seen. We send them an honest letter, and there may be a valid reason for postponement in some cases, but we do not delay if it can be avoided. We should be sensible, tactful, considerate, and humble without being servile or scraping. As God's people, we stand on our own 2 feet. We do not crawl before anyone. And I'm not going to crawl to beg your forgiveness. I don't really need your forgiveness, actually. I don't. If I've forgiven me and God has forgiven me, that's as far as forgiveness really goes. Now, why am I doing that? Because I'm clearing up the wreckage of my past. Because I can't live with that. And if I know that I did the best that I could to try and rectify that situation, I can move on with my day. What is it? It's accountability. And it works very, 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 very well. All right, let's get to today's reading. The reconstruction of my life is the prime goal in my recovery as I avoid taking that first drink one day at a time. Like, the thought of staying sober the rest of my life does not bother me. I'm still going to do this a day at a time. I'm still going to do it that way because it works. There is no point to change it just because I feel that way right now. It will always be a day at a time. Always. The task is most successfully accomplished by working the steps of our fellowship. I would agree. The spiritual life is not a theory. It works, but I have to live it. Got to live the principles. Okay? There's a saying in AA, hardly anybody uses it because we just don't quite understand it. Fake it till you make it. This is fake it till you make it right here. There's a trick in there. If you're faking it to make it, you've already made it. It's like praying for willingness. You're not really faking it until you make it. That's not what's going on. We're just giving you a direction to get there. You ain't faking nothing. All right? That's the trick. It changes your mind. It changes your intentions, your thoughts. That's what it's about. Quit making it harder than it needs to be. Step 2 started me on my journey to develop a spiritual life. Step 9 allows me to move into the final phase of the initial steps, which have taught me how to live a spiritual life. Without the guidance and strength of a higher power, it would be impossible to proceed through the various stages of reconstruction. I realize that God works for me and through me. Proof comes to me when I realize that God did for me what I could not do for myself by removing the gnawing compulsion to drink. Right? So, a reminder that I am only here by the grace of God. And that's the grace of God right there. He removed my obsession. What is a grace? It is an unearned gift. That is the definition of grace. You didn't earn that of removing that obsession. God loves you so much, he removed it. That's why. Good morning, Claire. It's good to see you. Because God loves you that much. Because he believes in you. Because he wants you to be happy. Why not? If he knows that if he removes that, and because you don't want that anymore, that you'll become free and help his children. See, he knows that. He already knows. I must continue daily to seek God's guidance. He grants me a daily reprieve, and I will provide the power I need, and will provide the power I need for reconstruction. My reconstructions, it's taken a while. There sometimes when it halted, there were times when I had to tear down a wall and rebuild it. There's been times the electrical went out, and maybe I had to go pop the, you know, pop the breakers. Hey, there's a lot of things. Maybe the driveway got dirty and I need to power wash it. These little things start to build up. There's a bunch of leaves in the gutters. Got to take care of that. These are all the little things that we do in our daily lives that match up to that reconstruction of your new recovery home. Yeah. So, all right. At 28 minutes, so I meet with them. I usually like to be on 5 minutes early. I want to sit down, at least write out some things, some pertinent questions before I meet with them, because I have nothing planned. I'm almost always flying by the seat of my pants. God takes care of almost everything for me, man. He will give me the right words when I get into that. I also need to feel them out. I don't know what kind of person they are. I'm presuming they're kind of extroverted if they're going to be, and I've done a little background on them too. So I know what education they have, things like that. Then I know how to talk to them. So even in this case, I'm going to meet them where they are at. I do not, these people are not alcoholic. Well, I don't know yet. I know Kathy is not. Right. I can tell she believes in God though. All right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a day.